Yo, what's going on, guys? We got another gameplay review today. We're going to be doing a Ghostface game, which is interesting because I'm not sure if I've done a Ghostface game before. Maybe I have. I don't know. Either way, we're going to be doing a Ghostface game. This guy is rank 8, and he's showing his perks and his build, and he's actually showing what perks he has available, too. So this is really interesting. I like this. This is your whole build. You're running like a blood point offering. Your add-ons are, that one is the one that makes it so people that get their killer instinct given to you whenever they break you out of your ability, they're revealed for slightly longer. And then this one is makes it so your recovery of your power is a little bit shorter. So basically, you just get your power back faster. They're very minor add-ons. I don't think I really need to go into very much detail. Your build, though, however, is Whispers, Hex Ruin, Barbecue and Chili, and Bamboozle. Now, you're gonna show me your perks, so like I'm gonna tell you what build I would run. If you're gonna show me your perks, I'm gonna do this, okay? For the record, you guys probably know, if you don't already, I fucking hate this perk. I hate Bamboozle. I hate that shit. I would not run that perk. These perks are fantastic. These are lovely perks, okay? So good job on running those. I'm going to go ahead and throw out there, though, that you could get away with not running 2 tracking perks as Ghostface. Like, you could get away with not running both Barbecue and Whispers. You could get away with running just one or the other. But running both is definitely not bad either. Like right now, you're running You're running 2 tracking perks, right? Like these are both tracking perks. This is a game slowdown perk, and then this is a chase perk. So like there's really like that's kind of how perks are, right? Like they usually fall into like those 3 categories, and sometimes they're like miscellaneous. Like for instance, tracking perk. That would technically be a chase perk, I guess. Chase perk, slowdown perk. That's like miscellaneous. I don't fucking know. Slowdown perk, tracking and slow down slightly. Like they all kind of have like, you know, like they all kind of have a little bit. And that's really how you should be basing your builds, right? Off your killer's weaknesses. For instance, if you're playing Nurse, you don't want chasing perks because Nurse is amazing in chase. Anyway, I digress. I'm ranting. I'm starting to rant already. Sorry. So basically, this build is not bad. I want to see what perks you want. Already, I'm just going to throw it out there. I would probably take off Bamboozle for at least Pop Goes the Weasel. But I'm going to see what else you have. Or maybe Nurse is Calling because you're stealthy. Or Thrilling Tremors. Those are all great perks. Or even Slobby Butcher. Or even I'm All Ears. Those are all fantastic perks. I would run any of those perks over Bamboozle. Although I think this person was the guy that sent me a message that said... Hold on, let me check. I believe this guy sent me the message that said that he's running Bamboozle because he doesn't want to deal with infinite windows. Which, before I get put on blast, infinite windows, long wall windows, time wasters, whatever you want to call them, I don't know. They're all the same thing, right? This person doesn't want to deal with those windows that are like so insanely strong that the only thing that you can do is vault them because they're really obnoxious, and I do not blame them one bit. That is the one thing that I think Bamboozle is good for, is shutting down those windows because they're absolutely redunculous. So if you've just been having a lot of bad games where people are using those windows a lot and you don't want to deal with it, that's totally fine. I get it. It's not a terrible choice. So yeah, that's about it. That's your build. Not bad. You're rank 8, by the way, which is also another thing. So let's go. Oh, wait, you're showing me your killers too. Okay, you're just showing, okay, I think you're showing what teachables you have, which aren't really that big of a deal because I can already see your build. All right, so Disturbed Ward is a thing. And if we look in like the description of the video, it says 2 4Ks before this, and then this happens. Rip. Well, if I was going to take a wild guess as to why it happened this game as opposed to the last 2 games, I would say it's most likely because you're playing on fucking Disturbed Ward. This map sucks as killer. I'm going to be real. This map fucking blows as killer. So let's just see how it plays out. You immediately pop into stealth, which is pretty much the right play. Like it's pretty much all you can do is Ghostface. You walk up, your Whispers clicks on. Okay, your Whispers had done just clicked on. I want to put a lot of emphasis into this. No, go back, you bastard. Okay, so your Whispers clicks on right now. So, right now, Whispers. Again, I preach this all the time, and I'm never going to stop preaching it. One of the best perks in the game, Whispers. Now, Whispers clicked on, you know that somebody is within a 32-meter semicircle in front of you. Like, along this line, if, like, assuming, like, you're here and like, any distance to this line is 32 meters, right? Like, a 32-meter radius in front of you, somebody is at this line right now, somewhere in front of you. So, you get a general idea of where someone is, right? Your totem is looking a little bit more than 32 meters, but I would guess they're either, like, over, like, right here or, like, right around here. I mean, I guess we'll see. But it's really important to keep that in mind. I'm curious if you're going to take good advantage of that. You're looking around. Oh, I just saw them. They were to your right. I guess you didn't see them. They're breaking you out. They're breaking you out. They broke you out. I'm not going to give you shit for this because I miss stuff all the time. Like, I miss stuff all the fucking time. I guess it's because I was looking because of whispers, though. Right there, you can kind of see her. Like, she was kind of like right there to the right. You can kind of see her. You can barely see her. I'm not going to give you too much shit about it because you can barely see her. But she was there. Okay. You try to hit her with I like this. Like, have you guys ever seen those videos of people fighting like drunken monkey style? That's like what you just did right here. You're like drunken monkey killer. You're like, oh, where's the claudette? I don't know. I have no idea. Ah, I gotcha, bitch. But then she actually wasn't there, so you didn't get the hit. I like that. I like the mind game that you're going for. I like when people do stuff like that when they try to hit you with some misdirection, though. I will give you credit. I think playing super like predictable all the time isn't always a good thing, but I will say that that's probably the wrong time to do it because like she's gonna be stealthing here, right? Like if she was right here and you were walking past, like even if you didn't know where she was, she wouldn't stay in the pallet. She would like come over here and hide from you, right? Like she would try to make sure the LOS is blocked. So like I like that mind game, but this just isn't a situation where it would work because she's just gonna keep hiding, right? She's gonna try to keep LOS broken. All right, so you're chasing her, you found her, you're gonna go to this pallet, and you're gonna no, don't respect pallets. Oh man, okay, so already huge mistake. Don't respect pallets. Just don't ever do it. I don't want to say don't ever do it. There are some situations where respecting pallets are good, mostly on like unsafe pallet play, but this is not an unsafe pallet, and there's very few unsafe pallets that even exist in DbD right now, aside from the new maps. So, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that as a golden rule, if you're learning killer, just don't respect pallets for now, you know, and then you can learn more about respecting pallets later. So this might not seem like much, but look, the difference between you, right? And for the record, if anybody watching this doesn't know what respecting a pallet means, that means you're basically stopping to avoid stunning, right? Like not respecting the pallet would mean that you just go right through, like you just hold W and you fucking chase that bitch, and you don't care if you get stunned. Whereas respecting a pallet means that you like come up and then you like stand still for a second to be like, no, go ahead, drop the pallet. I insist. I don't want to get stunned. No, seriously, go ahead. You know, which is what you do. You kind of like walk up and you're like, okay, drop it. Like you kind of like back up, you know, and then you like let her get some distance, which is not good. Had you not done that there, you would have got a hit. Which, okay, this might seem like a not a lot, but that's actually a huge deal. I cannot express this enough. I feel like I say this in every gameplay review I do, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's so important. Early game killer is so monumentally important, okay? Early game is the weakest time as killer. Killer is all about map pressure, okay? It's all about getting survivors off generators. Your whole goal is to kill them before they get 5 gens done, right? That's the entire goal of the video game. Well, when the game first starts out, there is nothing stopping them from doing generators. Like all 4 people are able to instantly hop on gens the second the game starts. The first thing that stops them is you chasing one, right? So you're chasing this Claudette. Now 1 survivor is off gens, but there's still 3 survivors on gens, right? That is bad. That is bad for you as killer. That means gens are going to get done. That is bad. So I cannot express enough how important it is to get early game pressure. And by getting early game pressure, I mean getting hits and downs early. Like you need to get your first down as killer fast, which is why early game play and early game decision making literally makes or breaks games as killer. Like 100%. If you have a rough early game as killer, it's very hard to recover. I mean, you can, but it's very hard. It relies on the survivors making a bunch of mistakes. So like you not getting that hit right there, like the difference between you respecting that pallet and not respecting that pallet is either A, you get a hit, or B, she gets on their pallet loop and then drops it, which is what happened, right? You getting the hit on that Claudette might have been a game-changing thing that could have happened this game. It definitely could have been. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how the game plays out. You go for a hit there, but she vaults it correctly. She kind of just plays it right. Now she's looping around it. You're chasing her. She's still looping around it. You're walking away. She's still back there. She's still... Oh. I guess you just don't want to chase her anymore. Interesting. Okay, like this might not necessarily be the worst idea. Okay, so you're like giving up on that chase to go chase someone else, which might not necessarily be the worst idea because like if you're chasing, I'll say this much: if you're playing against a group of survivors and one survivor seems like clearly really good, it sometimes is good to like go find someone else. I don't know how good that Claudette was. She definitely seemed like she was pretty decent. So I get the idea of like maybe I want to go find someone else that's like an easier down, or I want to go use my stealth. But again, this is really risky because like I said, early game is important and you got to get pressure fast. Like hypothetically, if you didn't find another survivor, like you got pretty lucky that you found this Kate right away. Because if you didn't find somebody right away and it took you like another 30 seconds to find somebody, that's another 30 seconds of generator time with all 4 people. And again, gens only take 80 seconds. So 4 people all with 30 seconds of gen time. That's like a gen and a half, you know? Either way, you find this Kate. She runs inside, which is not good though. That's not good. On the asylum, this is not good. Like, what was that pallet throw? I mean, I guess it wasn't terrible. You try to stalk her, but you were kind of in the open, so I don't know why you were trying to stalk here. I'm curious, do you take this chase? Do you chase this Kate, or do you walk away from this one too? Yeah, she's not moving. That pallet's amazing. No, you're just gonna chase this Kate. See, this is weird though, because like, why are you chasing this Kate now? You gave up on that chase on the Claudette because I guess you thought it wasn't a good chase. But this Kate is in like the strongest part of the map she can possibly be in. Like, yeah, she might use these pallets badly, and she kind of is. I think you're about to get a hit right here. Yeah, and then she like spins you. Yeah, you get a hit right there. Like, yeah, like she kind of used that first pallet badly, and she also used that pallet kind of badly, but she's in like one of the strongest parts of the map. Even with her being really bad, you're probably... I don't know if she's really bad yet. I shouldn't say that. I should say if she's really bad... You still have a pretty like low chance of catching her quickly because of where she is. She's in a really good position. Either way, you're finally committing to a chase. Ooh, you could have. Oh man, you could have got it. Okay. Did she just insta heal? Wait, did she just pop an insta heal right there? Is that what happened? Wait a second. Hold on. I'm gonna talk about this play in a second. That bitch just fucking popped an insta heal. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks hard. Okay, so I have something I want to say about this. Okay, so again, another thing that I can't stress enough. I know that I already said that I can't stress enough about early game being important, but there's one more thing that I also can't stress enough, and that is playing your chase around the survivor that you're playing. Okay, so based off the way this Kate plays needs to be the way that you make decisions, right? So like right here, she's looking behind you. She's looking behind her, right? You can see that she's looking at you. Her head is turned. Her body is twisted. She is looking at you, right? Right here, she is not looking at you. She stops looking at you. She dead hards for distance without even looking at where you are. And also drops the pallet. Like you clearly go around. Like had she been looking at you and like being aware of your position, she wouldn't have dropped that pallet. She would have just kept running because she would have been like, oh, he went around. Time to go around and like loop this pallet. You know what I mean? Because she drops this pallet, it's like very like right there. The second you hear that and you know she drops a pallet, you should be like, oh, she's literally right fucking here, dude. You could just lunge around this corner. Like she's right there, man. And she's probably not going to double vault it because she probably has no idea where you are, aside from maybe your red stain coming up on her. But you have enough distance here that you can easily hit her. You try to instead like bait her into vaulting it and then meeting her at the other side, which don't get me wrong, isn't like a terrible play. But based off how that Kate was playing, I don't think she even knew where the fuck you were, dude. I don't think she even was keeping an eye on you at all. She had no idea. You could have just held W and hit her. But anyway, you don't. And then she ends up getting the insta-kill off, which sucks. Like that actually ends up being a big deal. The fact that you could have had it down there, but you end up getting insta-healed on and now you're chasing a full health survivor is actually pretty game-changing. Because I don't know how much longer this chase is going to go on for now. You kind of give like a half-ass attempt at playing that palette, which, you know, it happens. For the record, if you're ever going to play this palette, I just want to throw out there that like the way this palette is I want to get a good view of it. I can't really get a good view. Basically, this wall right here is short. And this wall that's like off screen over here is really long. It's really fucking long. So like, if possible, you always want to play this wall. Like you want to force a survivor into trying to loop this wall and try to mind game this one as opposed to this one. Like you tried to like moonwalk on the big wall, but that big wall is way too big. Like you're not going to get a hit there on any survivor that's even semi-decent. But like this wall right here is pretty small. If you can somehow play it on that one, you can get a hit. It doesn't really matter too much here because she just leaves and goes to T-walls. But, yeah. Ooh, what the hell just happened right there? Wait, what just happened right there? Okay, so I think you might have been able to hit this. I think you just aimed badly, honestly. I think you could have been able to hit this had you like swung at the actual window. It kind of just looks like you aim for like the wall beside the window, honestly. I think you just missed that. Which, you know, I guess happens. But I want to also throw out there. I also want to throw this out there. Again, playing chases based off how the survivor plays. This Kate, based off what we've seen, like earlier with that pallet, when she just kind of like dead-hearted and then threw the pallet without really knowing where you are. This Kate does not seem like the type that like makes last-second adjustments based off what you do, right? She 100% is the type of survivor that when she decides she's doing something, she's fucking doing it, right? So like right here, you can like you can very easily tell that like she is going to this window, right? Like she starts beelining for this window. You can tell very easily that she is going to that window. She is going to vault that window. Nothing is going to stop this Kate from vaulting that window right now. Doesn't matter what you do, dude. You could transform into a fucking pink elephant and she is still vaulting that window. Okay? So like you maybe could have got this hit if you held W. That's supposed to be an arrow, sorry. You maybe could have got a hit if you held W here and you aimed correctly, which you maybe should have. But honestly, if you wanted to, you could have definitely gone around and then like met her. That's supposed to, Jesus, I'm struggling to draw arrows right now. Sorry. You could have gone around and then met her at the other side of the window because she's definitely going to vault it, right? It's one of those things where it's like I said, if you notice a mistake in the survivor's playstyle, you can take advantage of it. This Kate makes the mistake of not making last second adjustments to her strategy. So if you make a last second adjustment, she's not going to react to it and you'll easily be able to get hits. But instead you don't. You just swing at her. That maybe still should have hit, but then it didn't. It sucks. But now you're chasing around T-wall. How are you going to play this? Are you going to mind game this at all? No. You could have mind game that, but you didn't, which isn't really a huge deal. I mean, it happens. Then you're going to bamboozle it. Man. And again, like, oh, that one right there too. Oh man, I feel like that got you a little tilted. You kind of stopped for a second. Like this one right here too. It's very clear that she's gonna go to this window, right? Like in a situation like this, like you were, I guess I get why you chased this. It probably looked like you were close enough that you can get a hit, and you were probably, like you were very close to getting a hit here. She happened to get a fast vault, which fucks you over. But if she got a medium vault, it would have been a hit, and you were very close. But like right here, it's very obvious that she's going to that. You know what? I maybe would have swung at this too. It kind of looks like you're close enough. But again, you could have went around. I don't really blame you for swinging to this one because you did look pretty close. That kind of, I think you kind of got robbed out of that hit, to be honest with you. But then you bamboozle this window too. Man, that's so shitty. Because like the T-wall is such a good thing to play, and then you got no hits at it, and then she ends up leaving. You get a hit on her in this open field, and she runs back in. I want to say, too, that this chase is going a while. Like, this is taking a while. Oh, she got stuck. She got stuck. She doesn't have dead hard either. Get her. Stick him, boy. Stick him. Yeah, get him, boy. Nice. Good. Okay, so you finally got it down. But I just want to throw out there that this down took a long time. We're at 2:58 in the video. When did this game start? Like 2022-ish? Like 22-ish is when this game started. That's like a 2.5 minute down. It took you like 2.5 minutes to get it down. Again, I'm just going to throw out there some numbers just so you guys can get a good representation of what I'm saying here. 2.5 minutes. If all three other survivors are doing a generator, like gens take 80 seconds, right? That means that they can all do one gen in like 1 minute 20 seconds and still have a whole like another minute to go do something else. You know, go work on another gen and get like other gens almost done. Like, hypothetically, if these guys were slamming out gens and actually hitting their ruined skill checks, they could have had almost all the gens done by now. That's why early game is so important. I cannot stress it enough. Getting your first down and getting people off of gens will literally make or break your game as killer. Like it is. And also, I want to take a second to just say, why the hell haven't the devs added any more early game perks for killers, man? We need more stuff like corrupt intervention. For the love of God, these poor killer players out here trying to learn the game, trying to get better in chases than getting gen slammed down. Okay, anyway, sorry. I digress. You can almost always stop gens from getting done by playing well, but obviously not everybody's going to know how to play well, so it takes some time to learn. So I'm not going to like give you too much shit about it, but I will tell you that you definitely need to keep in mind that your early game is important, right? Like if you're not yet experienced at the game, you probably won't have good early games, but try your best to have as good of an early game as you can, because it's really important. Your Hex Ruin goes down conveniently as I say that. You hook this guy and then you carry him to the basement. Chuck him up on the hook. You back hook him. Nice. Hit him with the back hook. Okay, you see one guy on barbecue out there. You can chase him. You stalk him for a little bit. Yo, go get him, Slugger. He's in a pretty bad spot. Yeah, go get him. Go get him. No, don't go for that. I mean, that's actually not terrible because that gen was worked on. Honestly, there could have been survivors on that gen, but there wasn't. I think I see why you went over there. I think you thought there were survivors on it and you were going to chase them off, and then there weren't, so you're like, fuck it, I'll kick it. But honestly, that Claudette was in a pretty bad spot. I'm going to be honest with you. There's not really a whole lot. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot out here. Like, that looks like a relatively dead zone. There's maybe like one pallet out there. You probably should have chased that Claudette. Like, getting like multiple downs quickly and like stacking multiple downs and like snowballing your map pressure is the #1 way to win as killers. Snowballing map pressure. So what I mean by this is, like, for instance, I know that the YouTube bar is kind of in the way, but like you have this guy hooked, right? So he's not doing anything. He can't do generators. He's hooked. So he's effectively out of the equation. Okay. Now you have 3 other survivors. Okay. This is the guy that you just saw. Hypothetically, if you go over there, stalk that guy to exposed and then down him relatively quickly, like maybe within like 15 to 20 seconds, which you can do, honestly. Against most survivor players, you can do that if you're good at killer. If you can get him downed and then leave him down, like leave him slugged, he's effectively out of the equation too. He's essentially doing nothing. He's on the ground, right? This is all kind of hypothetical. And then all you got to do is find another survivor, right? Because like one of the survivors has to go for the unhook. They have to get off gens to go for the unhook, so they're basically out of the equation too. So that leaves you one survivor. You chase that survivor and then bam, no one's on gens. That's like the idea of map pressure. That's the idea of snowballing map pressure in a nutshell. And it's really important that, like, when you have someone on a hook, you want to try to get another down ASAP. I think that's definitely the best way to go about it. Like, going over here to this gen, I don't know if maybe you were looking for people or what, but there wasn't anybody here. You kicked the gen, which isn't really like that. Like, you're not really doing anything that useful right now, right? Like, everyone pretty much still has free reign of the map. There's really no other pressure being put out aside from the guy on the hook. Like, you need to find like a good chase or do something. I think that was the Claudette that you saw. I think no, that was a different one because the stock bar filled up. Never mind. So now you're looking for people. Someone's breaking you out. They're over there at that rock. Ooh, that's a good peek. It's a good peek. It's a good peek. Nice stock. Good stock. That was a very good stock. Utilizing that peek. There you go. You got it. You go. You can get her at Shack. You can get her at Shack for sure. Nice. I was actually going to tell you about a good way to vault this window, but I think you got this. I think you got this anyway. She kind of messed up a lot. Nice. Good. Okay, I'm gonna cover it anyway, just for the sake of people learning. But you didn't actually really do anything except for hold W and vault it. So honestly, you kind of played this wrong. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I think you just kind of got lucky that this Claudette fucked up, because she kind of like as you're about to vault it, she kind of like, if you notice, she like loop-de-loops back for some fucking weird reason. And like puts yourself in a really bad position for when you vault the window, and it gives you enough distance that you can catch her. Like if she was a better survivor, she wouldn't have done that and you would have never got a hit. But I just want to throw out there that there's kind of a way that you can bait them into doing that. Okay, like this is more like advanced, like this is kind of like positional manipulation is what I'll call it, which is basically like, as a survivor, they're gonna mirror everything you do, right? Like that's the very bare basics of looping. If you go this way, you know, if you go that way, she's gonna go that way. You know what I mean? And vice versa. If you go this way, she's gonna go that way. That's literally what looping is. It's keeping an eye on the killer. Whichever way they go, you go the opposite. That's like the bare basics of looping. So at a window like this, or really any window where, you know, well, I guess pretty much any window, what you can do, especially if you have bamboozle, it makes bamboozle even better, is you can fake like you're going one way, right? So like hypothetically, if this survivor was better and like didn't make this big mistake, you can kind of bait her into making this mistake, because you can like look that way and start to walk that way and make it look like you're going that way, which baits her into going this way, right? And then like you want to turn around and then vault the window right as she's like right in front of the window. Like that's the goal. Like you want to start vaulting the window as they're like right in front of it. Like right here. Like, you see how while you're vaulting this window, she's directly in front of it. That's like perfect for you as a killer. Like, she did this to herself. Like, you didn't even mind game her at all. She just kind of played this terribly. But you can bait them into making this mistake, even if you're, you know, like, even if they're not playing terribly, you can bait them into doing this, and sometimes it'll get you hits. Like, a lot of the time, actually, it'll get you hits. It's a really good thing to get into the habit of doing. Either way, that's a whole separate topic. You got the down, which is very good. Although there's 3 gens done. There's 3 gens done, which is very unfortunate. Again, your early game was really bad. It sucks really hard, man. The insta heal didn't really help your case at all either, which is also a bummer, but... you got this guy on the hook. You see nothing with barbecue. They're probably in the building because they unhooked from the building. Dude from the hook's trying to break you out. I'm surprised you're going over here. There was no barbecue auras over here. Why are you going over here? Whispers is going off, so there is someone not that way. No? I guess there's someone like over at Shack, maybe ish. Yeah, I don't know why you walked the whole way over here. I'm gonna be honest. There was no barbecue. Like, this is kind of wasting time, man. Like, I don't know if maybe you're just assuming someone jumped in a locker or something, but you saw no auras over here. So they're either in a locker or they're not here. And you're not really checking lockers. So, like, what are you doing? You're kind of just, like, patrolling the gens. I don't know, man. I would have stayed. I would have checked the building. I feel like this is more just, like, bad game sense, right? Like... You remember that someone was hooked in basement. They got unhooked and then healed pretty shortly after. Like, they definitely didn't run across the entire map to heal. They probably ran like upstairs into the building and then healed, right? They definitely didn't go anywhere too far. And so they were definitely near the building. There was definitely 2 people like near the building-ish. And we don't know where the 4th guy was, but we definitely know that he was most likely not near those gens since there was no barbecue aura. So it's just kind of weird, like, game sense that you went over there. Like instead of hovering around where the survivors most likely were, you kind of, like, went somewhere entirely different, which is odd. But, I don't know. Anyway, you actually make really good use out of your stock here, though. Like, this is really good use out of peek, where you, like, peek behind cover, make sure they don't break you out, get the stock. So you got this Claudette stock now. You should have her dead. Actually, she might make this pallet. Yeah, if she goes to the pallet, she's going to make it. Yeah, she's going to make it. All right, well, you get Shack pallet down there, which is okay. She blinds you. You hold W and go to the right. Hey, the Claudette randomly... Dude, she fucking transformed into a Kate. Look at that. The Claudette turned into a Kate. It's like a magic trick. But no, I'm guessing you're going to hit her. That kind of sucks because that Claudette was stock, though. Are you going to find her? Hold on, I'm going to let this play out for a second. You're, like, kind of looking... I think she walked through you, I think is what happened there. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so here's the thing. When you're blind, the best indicator of where a survivor is their footsteps. You can hear a survivor's footsteps pretty well if you listen for them. I mean, it just sounds like footsteps. I really don't know how to, like, describe the sound. It just sounds like footsteps. It's something you get used to. I myself personally did not hear any footsteps in this footage. I heard nothing. I heard no footsteps, which means they were most likely walking and not running. Okay? So, like, here's what I do. If the survivor is full health anyway, like, if they're injured, obviously you can hear moans of pain. But if they're full health, here's what I do when I'm being blinded, okay? I listen. I, like, walk out and I see if I can hear footsteps. If I can hear footsteps, I follow the direction that they're going. If I don't hear footsteps, I go backwards. I actually hold S and go backwards. Because more than likely, that means they're walking and trying to juke you. What I'm willing to bet happened is that she walked back into Shack. I'd be willing to put money on the fact that she literally walked back into Shack and is now crouching in the corner. I would put a lot of money on that. Because there's no scratch marks anywhere. She did not sprint. She basically just tried to bamboozle you, and it basically worked. So that's how I would play getting blinded. Either way, you end up coming out of blind and you find a Kate, which isn't bad. It sucks because it's not the guy you stalked. And you could have got a one-shot down, but you find this Kate. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure she's in Shack. And oh my god! Oh my lord, dude. She fucking charged you like a rhino. And then you down her. Nice. Okay, interesting. Wait, what? So she just ran around. And then she just like, this Kate is just like, she's just like a rhino, dude. She's like a rhino. I don't understand. Like, there you were minding your own business. And she just kind of like, I mean, hey, dude, I'll take it. You know what? Based off how that chase just went, based off how that chase went and how the chase earlier went, because this is the same Kate that I was commenting on earlier about how she doesn't make last second adjustments, and that proves it again right there. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this Kate is definitely, like, out of the people that you've chased, she definitely seems to be the worst one. Out of like her and the 2 Claudettes that you've chased, she seems like the worst one in chase, which makes me feel like if you're in a situation where you can pick and choose a chase, like if you see multiple survivors and that Kate is one of them, I would chase that Kate because she seems like an easy down. Now keep in mind, like the general, okay, but before you make the play on this generator, I just want to say something real quick. Generally, if you have one survivor that's really fucking good, right? Like this guy is really good. He's the king. He is the king of pallet looping, and that is his king crown. He is the king of pallet looping, right? And then you have another guy over here, okay, who sucks. He's pretty bad still, you know? He's learning. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing there's nothing wrong with like being bad at video games. It's okay. It's okay to be bad at video games. But he's bad. You know what I mean? He has like the dunce hat of shame. Or I guess it looks more like a witch hat. But either way, it's supposed to be a dunce hat, okay? So, like, you run into these 2 people at a generator, right? You always want to go after the dunce hat of shame, okay? Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter who is downed or hooked as a killer. If somebody is hooked or downed, that's map pressure to the whole team, right? If you chase fucking King of Pallet Loops over here, it's going to take you 30 fucking years to catch him, and then you're never going to have any map pressure, and then they're going to end up just, you know, Dunce Hat Magoo over here can do generators just as good as him, right? Like they both do generators just as good as each other. It's just holding M1. There's really no skill involved. They both do gens the exact same way. It's not really a big deal. But as far as the chase goes, if you chase this guy, it might take like 4 minutes to get it down. Whereas if you chase this guy, it might take like 30 seconds, you know? So in a situation like this, it's really good to like identify which survivors are like the weak link on a team. And then I don't want to say like tunnel them, because again, like I know this makes it sound like I'm like tunnel them to death, because I don't want you to tunnel them. It's more like basically just keep in mind that if you need map pressure, they're an easy down and you can get map pressure off them. It's not like it's not the same as tunneling. Like tunneling is not what you want to do, but you definitely want to keep in mind that chasing a good survivor over chasing bad survivors definitely has its like pros and cons, and it's important to be aware of it, okay? I just kind of want to throw in there as well, I realized while I was editing that I forgot to mention that it's also really important to know what position the survivors are in. If a good survivor is in a bad position, you can chase them anyway. And if a bad survivor is in a good position, sometimes you don't want to chase them. So that's also important. Where they are on the map, whether they're around a lot of pallets, windows that are strong, or whether they're in like a zone that's completely dead is also a big factor on whether you want to take a chase or not. Just wanted to throw that in there real quick, and that's all. Anyway, let's see how you play this gen. Your stealth. Ooh, you must have been she must have reacted just in time to not get grabbed. I was gonna say, in this situation, you could either go for a grab or try to like stalk. You go for the grab. Really unfortunate that you don't get it, man. So close to getting it. Really unfortunate. Stalking though, I mean, it's kind of inconsistent. They could have balanced landing or something. So going for the grab is probably the right play. It just sucks you didn't get it. That Jake's gonna fall down the hole, which is fine. He might have balanced landing. We don't know. So you're going to chase his Claudette. Nice. There's nothing here. Good. Oh, I was going to... Man, I was just thinking that too. Okay. I want to throw out there that if you're ever chasing a survivor, this is to all killer players. All killer players. If you're ever chasing a survivor and they haven't used an exhaustion perk yet, right? Like this Claudette has not yet used sprint burst, dead hard, you know, head on. The hell was that? Like this Claudette has very clearly not used sprint burst, head on, dead hard, balance landing. They obviously haven't used an exhaustion perk, right? You don't know that they're exhausted. Basically, if you're ever chasing a survivor and you don't know that they're exhausted, you always want to assume they have dead hard every time. Because, like, I don't know how big of a deal that this is going to be. I think you might catch her anyway, because she doesn't have balance landing, right? She just used dead hard. So, yeah, like, you're going to catch her anyway. So, like, it wasn't that big of a deal this time around. But I want to throw out there that that could be a big deal, right? Like, hypothetically, if you missing that swing and her getting that extra distance would have got her to a pallet, this chase could have then ended up being like a 2-minute chase instead of being a down. So it might seem like a minor thing for me to get all nitpicky about, but it can be a big deal, dude. Like that's like, those are the kind of little mistakes that can make or break games as killer. It looks like you think someone's in this locker, but they're not. I guess you thought the Jake was in there because he dropped, which is understandable. Oh, he just dropped again. He's in that room. Go hit him. He's behind you. I heard his footsteps right there. Yo, go hit that guy. I think he vaulted the window. Why are you moonwalking out? What's happening? What's happening? Wait, why? Wait, why are you checking lockers? He's not down here. There's no one down here. Unless they were like preemptively down here, but I highly doubt it. That was interesting. I'm not really sure why you did that. I don't know if you thought that there was somebody already down there, like setting up for the save in advance, or if you thought that Jake was down there. But like, I just want to throw out there that while you were picking her up, wow, this was a while ago. While you were picking her up, we heard the Jake fall, right? If you listen, you can hear him fall. Listen. He's in this room, and there's only one way out of this room. There's only one door. You can literally walk over to this door right now and get a hit for free, and you would still be able to make the basement hook. Like, you could easily walk right over there, hit him with her on your shoulder, and then just walk to the basement hook. You know what I mean? Or if he hops in the locker, you could just drop her and then hit him and chase him. And he also like followed you for a minute, and I think that notification, I'm pretty sure, was him vaulting the window. So like, I'm not sure what you were doing here. Like, did you think he followed you down? Because if he followed you down, there would have been scratch marks. There's no way he could have followed you down while walking. There's no way. They don't move fast enough to do that. So I'm not sure what the deal with this is. But you end up wasting a little bit of time here, which I guess, like I said, isn't a huge deal. But all these things I say that aren't a huge deal, they add up and they end up becoming a huge deal. Because if you waste like 5 or 10 seconds here and there, you know, like, it might not seem like much, but when you're doing it like 5, 6, 7, 8 times throughout a match, you end up wasting like, you know, 80 seconds worth of time or something, which, like I said before, 80 seconds is a gen, you know, and there's 4 survivors, so 80 seconds worth of wasted time can sometimes be like 4 gens worth of wasted time, hypothetically, I guess. I know that's a little bit of an extreme. Okay, so you're like looking around right now, and they get the unhook. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say something. Hold on, I'm gonna see how this plays out first. Yeah, you can't really get a stock there. He's kind of like inside of you. I think you just have to chase him. This Jake ran out. You're gonna chase him down. No? I think you're worried about that gen upstairs, which is good. I mean, you are right. You kicked that gen. It was like 90% complete. You're gonna go check on it, which was right. She was working on it, so that was good. That was really good. Like, this Claudette definitely seemed like she was going for that gen. She dead hards for distance. I mean, I'm not gonna give you shit for swinging there, because even if you didn't swing, she was still gonna make that pallet, so it doesn't really matter. That's not good. They get that gen done, and now the other gen is done too. That's not good. Ooh, all the gens are done. Yeah, I think there was just so much wasted time that they got all the gens done, man. It sucks. You're gonna chase her here. She's gonna drop this pallet. It's one of the best pallets. There's not really much you can do. I mean, you got the pallet down, which is good. Oh, you can... Wait, what are you doing? Wait, what are you doing? Wait, no, stop! Oh god, wait, stop! Okay, so for the record, she vaults his window, okay? So, like, you kind of, like, hesitate, right? So, like, for the record, let me see if I can pause it. Okay, so, like, there's one window here, and then there's one window, like, over here behind the staircase, right? This window, they end up, like, right behind this wall. That window, they end up, like, way over there, like, way far away, right? So, like, fuck that one. Like, I don't even know why I bothered pointing that one out. Ignore me. But she vaulted this window, which means she ends up, like, right here, which is, like, right on the other side of this wall. Like, if you just went around and then, like, ran that way, like, if you would have just ran this way, you maybe could have caught her pretty easily. She was injured, too, so, like, I don't know. Maybe you're worried about decisive strike or something? I don't know. But you could have caught her pretty quickly. Instead, you're going to, like, go for this gate. There is a guy here, so I guess this maybe isn't the worst play. But if this guy is good, if this guy ends up being good, we don't know anything about this Jake yet. If he ends up being good, this might end up being really bad. This might be a bad decision. Okay. Don't think we have to worry about him being good. He kind of also just, I don't know what the hell happened right here. You, like, hold on. You, like, come over here and you like stalk him for a minute, and you go over here to stalk him, and then, dude, are you playing against a bunch of fucking rhinos? This guy is also a rhino. Dude just fucking charges you like a rhino. Look at him. He's like, I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, Ghostface. I just don't understand. I don't get it. This guy also charges you like a rhino. You get a free hit. Very weird play. It looks like he's not gonna go anywhere either. Does he have dead hard? Bait dead hard. Bait dead hard. You didn't bait dead hard again, man. You already fell for it earlier. Bait dead hard, dude. We don't know what he has. Oh, man. I mean, again, that's not really a big deal because he wasn't in like a super good spot. But again, it's a good habit to get in. We don't know if this guy's exhausted. You should have baited dead hard there. He ended up not having it, so it's okay. And I want to throw out there that this Jake, I'm going back on the whole like the Kate being the weak link of the team. This Jake does not look like he has any idea what he's doing in chase. So this guy would have been the way. It's kind of late now, but that guy would have been the guy to chase. And now all 3 survivors are at the gate. You know, there's not really much you can do. The Jake breaks you out. You look confused. Well, you look confused, but here's the thing. The survivors have a third-person camera. So what looks like the angle to you as a first-person camera is going to be different for them, right? So, like, even though it looks like he shouldn't have a direct line of sight of you, his camera is like over top of him. So his angle is actually different than what it looks like on your screen. So yeah, he probably actually did have an angle. It's pretty weird. It's pretty goofy the way it works, but that's how it works. So you kind of got to, you know, get used to it, I guess. This situation, you look like you're indecisive. You're like, do I camp this guy? Do I chase people? And that's really like, in this situation, there's not really much you can do. If you don't like hard camp him, like your options are either A, like face camp him, right? And then they might still get the save, but you might be able to get like 1 kill out of it, maybe. Or they might just all leave. You know what I mean? Or you can do this. But if you do this, like what you're doing was of like patrolling, they're more than likely just going to like unhook with borrowed time, right? Like I'm willing to bet that like, yeah, right there's an unhook. I'm willing to bet the dude's going to have borrowed time. So like you either hit the healthy survivor and he gets a speed boost. Or like that, you hit the injured survivor and he gets borrowed time. You know what I mean? It's just a lose-lose. There's really no way you can win out of this situation here. Like it's too far gone. Like the game is just too far gone. You could, I guess, face camp if you just desperately want to get 1 kill, but like at this point, who really cares? I mean, I guess if you just really, really, really care about getting 1 kill, then feel free. But I don't think it really matters at this point, and you kind of just, you know, let him get the borrowed time, save and go. And that's the end of it. I'm kind of curious to see what these guys were running. Also, I'm assuming your emblems probably didn't go too well. I want to throw out there that like this situation feels like the type of situation where a killer would probably call like, hey, they're nice too. That's cool. This feels like the type of situation where a killer would probably call, you know, survive with friends bullshit, overpowered comms or whatever, because these guys played kind of coordinated. But I just want to throw out there that you totally could have won this. You totally could have 4K'd these guys pretty easily had you I always feel bad saying stuff like this, but have you had a little bit more experience? How do you like play the game better? How do you play the match better? You could have 4K'd this easily. They did have an insta heal. It was a stip dick, and then one guy had a repair toolbox. So it wasn't anything big. They were all running like the typical perks that people run. I mean, meta perks. It's the same shit everyone always runs. So big glaring mistakes I want to say from this game. Now that it's over. Early game was fucking terrible. Like that was the #1 biggest issue this game was the early game. You needed to get it down quickly. I think like this Claudette that you chased early on, you probably should have like committed to this chase and maybe downed her quickly. And like even though you did decommit from this chase and then go chase the Kate, you could have downed her faster as well. Like you could have had her down at like these T walls. Or sorry, I just 4 wall. Like you kind of like made a mistake right here. Like right here, you could have had her down. That could have been a down. Even at like these T walls, you could have got some hits. Like getting that first down is just such a big deal, and it kind of took too long. Which don't get me wrong, it isn't always necessarily the killer's fault, because sometimes you get survivors that are really good and don't make a lot of mistakes, and you just can't get it down quickly. But again, that's just like it's a big glaring thing. And I do think that your early game could have been played better for sure. Like, I definitely think you did make mistakes. You definitely could have played it better. So that's a big thing. I also want to say that, like, throughout the match, I didn't really comment on it, but, like, I want to comment on it now that throughout the match, it seemed like you were very rarely seeing barbecue auras, right? Like when you hooked somebody, it seemed like you never really saw barbecue auras. And then it always seemed like whenever you walked away from the hook, even a little bit, they would get unhooked. Like the second you got out of range, they would get unhooked. Which leads me to believe that these survivors were kind of just huddling around the hook and waiting for you to leave and then unhooking, right? So I hate saying this kind of stuff because I know people are going to take this the wrong way. And like, I already said something earlier that can probably be taken the wrong way. So I'm sure this whole video is going to be taken the wrong way, but I'm going to say it anyway and say that in a situation like that, right? I want to preface this by saying I don't think camping is a good play or the right play most of the time. But in a situation like this, where like it's very clear that every single time you hook someone, people are just like surrounding the hook and waiting for you to leave, you should be patrolling hooks. Like, I'm not saying face camp the guy, but I'm going to go ahead and say that you should at least be patrolling the hook and finding a survivor. Like, once you find the survivor, I think you should chase them and try to get a down on them. But I think, like, it seems like every time you get a hook, you struggle to find the next survivor, right? Like, I feel like it's pretty much every single time. Like, there's very few situations, like, for instance, right here. Like, there's very few situations where you hook someone and then you immediately find another chase. Sorry, my thing kind of messed up for a second. But you're usually, like, looking around and, like, you know, patrolling generators and all this other stuff. And it's not, like... I don't know, like the whole time you're doing this, you could have been near the hook, you could have found another survivor, chased them, downed them, and hypothetically, if you down another survivor, it's kind of like I said at the beginning of the video, if you down another survivor while there's someone on a hook, that's like snowballing map pressure that you can then use to, you know, your advantage, get more people off generators. I feel like this is like one of those very few situations where like proxy camping is actually the right play. Like you walking away completely and like just letting them get unhooks is just bad because you don't have a... I think, as a matter of fact, I want to throw out there that I don't think proxy camping is ever bad unless you're literally giving up chases for it, right? Like if you have if you hook someone and then you have a chase, absolutely take that chase. Take that chase and try to down that guy, because if you can down him quickly, then that's good. That's a ton of map pressure. But if you hook somebody and you have no chases whatsoever, if you don't even have a general idea of where survivors could be, then staying like near the hook until you see somebody is just smart. You know, it's just a smart play. Now, hopefully people don't take that the wrong way, and hopefully I don't have to go around for the next week and hear people going, "Oh my God, Tofu told me to camp hooks. Tofu's telling me to camp and tunnel in his gameplay review." Because I don't think camping and tunneling is like the right play in a lot of situations. You know what I mean? But I think I do think that like identifying which survivors are strong and weak, and I do think being able to identify the fact that survivors are literally just waiting for you to walk away to get unhooks and taking advantage is definitely a good thing. Other than that, there wasn't really like much else you can do. Like you did play chases kind of badly too. Like I want to say that like in the beginning, I think a big reason why you played, or like why the pressure took so long, is because you played these badly, right? Like you respected the pallet in the first pallet chase, and then even like up here, you played these tiles kind of badly. Like you definitely could have played these tiles better. Like especially this T-wall, you definitely could have played better. So that's definitely something that you want to work on. For the record, I don't think you're like bad at the game or anything. Like you definitely have a general grip of the game. I just think you need to fine tune out your chase mechanics and your decision making a little bit, and definitely work on taking advantage of the mistakes that the survivor make. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think if I keep going on, I think I'm just going to be talking about the same shit over and over again. I don't think I really have much else to say. This was totally a winnable game. Like these guys may or may not have been in fucking Survivor with Friends comms. I don't know. I don't even pay attention to that shit when I play Killer because it really doesn't matter to me. Either way, they seemed somewhat coordinated, but you definitely could have beat them had you done a little bit better in the early game, and had you played around hooks a little bit better as well. You definitely could have beat them. Overall, you played pretty good. You definitely have some stuff to work on, but I hope this video helped you out, and I hope it helps out anybody watching. Thank you for submitting, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to be it for this video. I'm going to get out of here. Remember that you guys can submit footage yourself by joining my Discord and then sending me a DM that is a link to your YouTube video that is your footage. Make sure there's no commentary over it. Make sure it's just gameplay, and make sure that like the video quality and audio quality is good. I don't want to watch something that's like pixels, you know? And that's about it. thank you guys for watching. Feel free to submit. Remember to sub to the channel if you guys enjoyed. Remember to like the video if you guys enjoyed it. It's the best way to support and help it get out there to more people. And I am out of here. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. See you later. See ya. I'm out of here. See ya. Take care. See ya. I'm out of here. See ya.